This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com.
Fit Moms!
Hi, it's Eliz. Welcome to my Booty Blast series, where we will do a 360-degree sculpt of the legs and glutes. This is a beginner class of a 4-part series working up to the master level class. Throughout these workouts, I will teach you how to isolate different muscle groups so that you can sculpt your legs with precision and efficiency. You don't need any equipment for these exercises, just a small space to set your mat down. Eliz Fitness is fitness for everybody, every age, at every level. In my classes, you'll learn proper form so that you can maximize the burning benefits instead of wasting time. Whether you're a beginner, an at-home workout pro, or a busy mom, if you're looking to get into shape, Eliz Fitness is for you. There are 4 levels in this series: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and master. Start with the beginner sequence to learn proper form and build a strong foundation. When you're feeling ready, move to my intermediate and advanced videos for more of a challenge. Repeat each video daily until you feel strong enough to move up a level. When you are feeling confident with the advanced sequence, give my masterclass a try. All of my Eliz Fitness classes and series can be found on Amazon Prime Video and the Yoga Plus. So we'll start setting up our basic squat. You want to have your feet at least hips-width distance apart, and weight distribution plays a big role in this exercise. So just hinge at your hips and bend your knees and notice that the weight immediately shifts to your heels. Look down at your knees and you should be able to see all 10 toes clearly, and you should be able to lift your toes because your weight is in the heels. Bring your hands onto your waist and sit back like if you were sitting in a chair that's just a little bit far away. So this is essentially the position of your squat. If you hung out here for a little while, your legs would really start to shake, and this would be an isometric contraction, which would be working in stillness, but we're gonna move, so don't worry. So from here, just bend just a little bit deeper and stand up. Now when you stand up, really power energy through your heels to stand up without locking out your knees. So if you ever feel like your knees kind of bounce, that means that you locked them, so you want to go slow on the way up. So bend, and then slow on the way up. Think about squeezing your glutes at the very top. So bend and straighten, bend and straighten. And just move your hands forward, kind of counterbalancing. Slow and steady. So squats have been around for a really long time, and we still do them because they're super effective to work your quadricep muscles, the fronts of your thighs. They work your hamstrings, which are the back of your thighs, and your glutes. So when they work your glutes is on the way up. Quadriceps on the way down, hamstrings and glutes on the way up. That's why you really want to press through your heels as you stand. So also, you don't want to roll your shoulders forward, and you don't want to hinge too far forward. So I always think about having a string attached to the crown of my head and someone's giving it a tug, so you grow tall through the spine. So you should definitely feel all those parts of your legs working. And if having your arms forward is too much for you right now, feel free to bring your hands to your waist. I just like it because it creates a little bit of a counterweight, and for me it helps with my balance. So pull your belly in no matter what you're doing to protect your lower back. Let's just do 10 more. 10, 9, every once in a while look down, make sure you can see the toes, weight is in the heels. Belly hollow. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the 1. Check in with your posture, check in if you're collapsing in your lower back. Little tuck of the tail, lift the heart, reach through the crown of your head. And this is a tricky way to make you work in stillness. Just 3 more breaths. stand up. So that was your basic squat. Now we're gonna transition into a sumo squat. So sumo squat just has your toes wider, so your feet are wider than your hips. And a good gauge is to use the sides of your mat as the end of where your feet are. So for this sumo squat, we're just gonna turn the toes ever so slightly out to get your inner thighs to fire up just a little more. So same thing, you're sliding up and down a wall, bend, and straighten. You'll notice two things. Because your feet are wider apart, you have more space to sit deeper. Go ahead and sit deeper. Then when you stand up, really slowly stand up, like if you could squeeze your heels toward each other, and that's where you really engage those inner thighs. So we'll do a couple really, really slow so that you feel that engagement. So bend, knees kind of press towards the pinky edges of your feet. Resist, squeeze, 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 all the way up. Bend, squeeze, 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 all the way up. And we'll move a little bit faster. So bend and straighten. Really try to slow down the up to get all those muscles to fire. Don't lose the length in your spine and keep your core engaged. Chances are, if you feel any tightness or sensation in your back, you've lost that core. So zip it up. Pressing your knees out, resisting the up. And we'll just do 10, 9, how slow can you go? 8, 7, 6, 5, squeeze your glutes at the top. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just hold it. Check in with your back. Slightly tuck the tail. Lift your heart. Nice long spine. Things are shaking. Your legs are on fire, and that is a good thing. 3, 2, 1. Stand up and bring your feet together. Maybe shake them out a little bit. All right, so now again, you'll have your feet wider than your hips this time, but not as wide as the sumo squat. All 10 toes will be pointed forward. Lift, let's start with your left heel lifted. You're gonna step your left foot back, 2 or 3 feet back, and you're gonna get your back heel to stay lifted. Now, I want you to notice your lower back is really gonna wanna sway. Your ribs are gonna wanna splay open, so knit in those ribs and watch what happens to my left hip when I do that. So as soon as I engage my core, my left hip tucks under because my spine becomes straight. That's what you want. You don't want to be here. You want to be here. So little extra thing that you get from lunges is a nice stretch in your hip flexor, but also lots of work in your quads, on the way down in your glute, on the way up. So bend and resist the up. Now, how deep you want to bend is completely up to you. What feels good? You can hang out here, and if you feel work and you feel challenge, stay there. If you want a little bit deeper, go lower. But you want to do this quite a few reps, so try to find a depth that you can commit to and a rhythm that you can commit to. And let's just do 10, 9, 8, smiling always helps, 7, 6, 5, 4, don't lose the shape of your spine, 3, 2, hold the bend, check in with your back, a little tuck, get the stretch down your hip, and then with a little spring in your step, just step your left foot up and switch. So a trick, if you feel really wobbly, is more width between your feet. The closer your feet are, kind of on a tightrope, the more challenging it is for your balance. So maybe at first, have a nice wider stance. So stepping back about 2 or 3 feet, all 10 toes are pointed forward, knit in those ribs, Nice straight spine. Find your depth and your rhythm, and then bend and straighten. So one side of your body naturally is stronger than the other, so just notice which side feels oddly easier, and that's your stronger side. Then if you want to balance it out, maybe just do a few more reps on the side that feels a little bit more challenging. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, slow on the way up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Readjust, belly hollow. Notice sensation, and with a little spring, step it up. Very good. So right leg will stay where it is. You're gonna step your left foot back to a lunge, but we're gonna be still in that right leg. So again, weight distribution plays a big role in your stability. So you're gonna actively press through the ball mound of your big toe. So think about now having a diagonal line from the crown of the head all the way to your heel. Shift more weight onto your right big toe. Your left toe just naturally starts to lift, and then you hover it. So really point the toes to get your front thigh to activate, but you're gonna be moving to get your left glute to work. So you're just gonna lift and lower. Now again, this is not good for your spine and you're not really working. So core is nice and tight. Right knee is bent. Lift and lower. Point the toes. Leg is really strong like an arrow. And you might notice that your standing leg feels more intensely sizzling than your moving leg, and that's because it's working harder. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, this movement is not a big movement. 8, 7, 6, shoulders broad. 5, stare at one spot, straight ahead. 3, 2, 1, and bring it to center. All right, we'll just switch sides. So stepping your right foot back, you're in a static lunge on that left side, pressing firmly through the ball mound of your big toe, and then shifting your weight forward. It takes a little trust, but you don't have to use momentum. If you do it right, your foot will float. Good, so your left leg is bent, but still your core is active, your right toes are pointed. Lift and lower. Do not move your trunk. You should feel the work in your glute. When you've got that movement down, we'll count for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, slow and steady, 3, 2, 1, and bring it to close. Great job. So now we'll come onto our hands and knees. So setting up your foundation here, your hands will be directly under your shoulders. Watch the elbows, you want them to stay soft. So try not to do this and kind of collapse into your bone structure. You want to press the ground away and keep your elbows soft, and then bring your knees back underneath your hips. So for traction, to help you kind of be stable, you can tuck your toes under. As you go up levels, you'll start to untuck. So then you'll float your right leg, flex the foot, and we'll start moving a little bit through the spine. Already you should feel some core engagement because this is a balance challenge. So round your back, tuck your chin, bring your knee towards your nose, and as you exhale, do this real slow. You're gonna straighten your spine and lift your leg. This is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to go here. So you stop where your back is straight, you don't collapse in your back. So again, pull your belly in around your back, knee to nose, and then straighten your leg up towards the ceiling, keeping your spine straight. Your knee will be bent. So round, leg goes up, spine stays straight, elbows stay micro bent. Round, up. So a little bit faster. Round, up, round, and up. This is warming our spine up, warming the back of our thighs up a little bit more for our next exercise, and setting up your plank position. And let's just do like 8 more. 8, 7, really stop. 6, 5, pull your belly in right here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish strong and release the knee. So now just switching to the other side. So tuck your right toes for traction. Make sure your elbows are a little bit bent, not collapsing, pressing the ground away. Floating the left leg, flex it, round your back, tuck your chin, do it slow at first, and then lift up, keeping your spine straight. So at this point, you should be looking about 1 foot above your nose. Round, press up, stop. Round, press up, stop. Now let's find a rhythm. Should feel that glute, hamstring work. Core is working a little bit. Spine is getting some movement. Lots of booty. From here, 8, 7, really stop right there. That's where the work is. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, really stop, and drop your knee. All right, adding on to that, we'll come on to our forearms. So forearms are great if you start to get into your wrists a little bit, but it is a little bit more work for your shoulders. So if you need to come up on your hands to do this, that's okay. I like to do it on the forearms because it keeps your spine from wiggling. So elbows under your shoulders. Think about goalpost hands, pulling your heart forward, tucking your right toes, and then floating your right leg. So this time you're gonna keep your spine straight. That foot is flexed like crazy. Just bring your knees together and lift. Just to that 90-degree angle. Try not to go higher because that compresses your back. So knees together and lift. Together and lift. Really use your core to keep your spine straight. Reach the crown of your head towards the front of the mat. Donkey kicks will get that booty to go higher. So check in with your shoulders, you're not collapsing. So a little trick is to kind of energetically pull your elbows apart. This keeps your collarbones broad. Let's do 8 more. 8, 7, check in with your back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the last one up. Notice where you're working, squeeze it more. And then release. So just switch sides, so make sure that left knee's under your hip, left toes are tucked. Float the right leg, flex that foot like crazy. Knees together and lift. Core is engaged, shoulders are broad. Think about moving from the hip. And it doesn't matter your level of fitness, this will always work your glutes. You should always, right away, feel your glutes shaking when you do this. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the last one, squeeze your glute, flex the foot more, and release. Great job. So let's go onto our backs. And before you recline, separate your feet hips width distance. A lot of times we think our hips are wider than they actually are. So think hip bone, not hip flesh. So trace your feet to your knees to your hips. That's hips width distance. Then bump your hips up to your heels and lay onto your backs. Before you do anything else, really notice your spine. So you want the back of your neck to be long. So if you're tucking your chin, just lift it up a little bit. Think about no wrinkles on the back of your neck. The back of both shoulders are touching the mat. Your upper back, middle back, and lower back. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Sometimes we have a sway, or if we have a really tight lower back, it wants to do this. So you can slide fingers under. So think about tucking your pelvis up so that there's no space for your fingers. So this keeps your core engaged, which keeps your spine protected. So see if you can, without widening the distance between your feet, slide your heels a little bit further back, reach your fingers forward, and then tuck your hips under even more and hover your bum off the ground. So right away, you'll notice your glutes fire. This is already work. We're gonna lift even more. So lift your hips higher. Right here, rotate your arms so that the sides of your hands and the sides of your arms are pressing down, and you use that to lift your chest. Some more support, but still working the glutes. So this is a bridge, isolation in the gluteus maximus. So just lift your hips a little bit, hold here for 3, 2, 1, roll it down. So once you're on the ground, check, do I have a sway? Do it from the top. Neck is long, both shoulders are touching the mat, your upper back, middle back, lower back. Press your pelvis slightly up, so kind of dial that pubic bone slightly up. When you're ready, pressing against the heels, hover the bum. Glutes are working, fantastic. Rotate your arms sideways, press against your arms, chest through your arms, lifting your hips higher. Squeeze the glutes. So even though your feet are not gonna move, energetically, your heels are pulling towards your glutes. That gets your hamstrings, the middle of your legs, of the back of your legs to fire. So now we're just gonna lower and lift. Keep your core engaged, lower and lift. When you lift, really squeeze the glutes. Lower and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift. So one thing that happens here is that the knees start to kind of disengage, they're all splayed out, so squeeze them towards the middle. Lift, glutes, lift. So scan the feet, you're pressing equally through the heels and the balls of your feet, you're not gripping the toes, they're soft. You're energetically dragging your heels towards your booty. I know it's a lot to think about, but that's why I'm here. And let's do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the one, squeeze those glutes, squeeze the heels towards the glutes for 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring your knees into your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. All right, we'll add one more thing to that. So feet are hips width distance, hips to knees, knees to heels. Start with your arms already karate chopping. Dial your pubic bone up and then lift your hips. So now really press into your left foot and just float your right foot. You're just gonna hold it for 3, 2, 1. Drop the right foot, press equally through your right foot, lift the left foot for 3, 2, 1. Press through your left foot, lift the right foot for 3, 2, 1. Use your arms to keep your chest lifted. Press through the right foot, lift your left foot for 3, 2, 1. One more time. Press through the left foot, lift the right leg for 3, 2, lift even higher, 1, release, last time, press through your right foot, lift the left, 3, 2, lift higher, 1, drop the left foot, and release. Bring your knees in, rock a little bit from side to side, and then as you're ready, start to rock up and down until you come onto your seat. Great job. So I'm gonna give you just 2 stretches that will release your hip to back to glute connection and a little bit your inner thigh. So just a simple butterfly stretch. Bring the soles of your feet together. Now you might notice that your knees hike up. If that happens, just move your heels a little bit further forward and make more of a diamond shape to take pressure off of the hips. So bring your hands onto your shins, lift your heart, relax your shoulders down your back. You might already feel intense sensation and then just stay here. If you want to get a deeper stretch, hinge. But here's the thing, don't hinge rounded, hinge with a flat back. So lengthen through the spine, and then as you're ready, start to hinge. The second you feel that you're rounding in your back, just go up. Focus here. So hinging forward. If it's available to you, maybe you wrap your fingers around your toes or maybe release your hands. So if you want an even deeper stretch right at that connection of hip and glute, energetically kind of press your heels against each other and it becomes more of an active stretch and you release the hip a little bit deeper. I love this stretch because it kind of gets your SI joints right below your back. Feels really juicy. So take about 3 more breaths. One more breath cycle, and then slowly come up. So you'll close your knees, find your feet hips width distance, use your hands, so you're gonna grab your right ankle, lean back, and stack it on top of your left thigh, flex your right foot. So again, your right knee might jump up, your right hip and glute might start screaming at you, so you can move your left foot further out if it's too intense, but keep that right foot flexed. So another thing that you can do is kind of press your hand onto your thigh and assist that right knee to move forward. Try not to plow through sensation. It should never be so intense that you start clenching your teeth or making your eyebrows crumpy. And just breathe. So figure 4 stretch gets right in that hip and glute. Feels nice. Take 3 more breaths. Switch sides. And then if you notice that you wake up and you're really sore, go ahead and take a brisk walk, moving your arms rigorously, 15-20 minutes, and then drink lots of water. If you want to go deeper, you can take your hand on your thigh, press it forward, or you can pick up your hips and bump them closer to your heel. Keep your heart lifted, don't allow your chest to sink. Take a few more breaths. And when you're ready, just find a comfortable seat. Great job. So I recommend doing this video about 3 times a week. And if you wake up sore, just take those brisk walks, get the lactic acid to flush out of your legs. I can't wait to work out with you again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Till next time. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration.
Introducing Yoga Plus, offering a free series every month with over 300 different videos. Take control of your health. Work out anytime, anywhere. Yoga Plus. Download now for free.